Pry open your third eye with me, your big-headed know-it-all, polymath Scott Spackey, and guests. Change your mind, change your life. Full episodes, services, knowledge, and all you'll ever need on scottspackey.com and life-mind.com. Are you ready?
Find me where the ocean collides with the sun.
Welcome to, or welcome back to, Pry Open Your Third Eye with big-headed know-it-all polymath, myself, Scott Spackey, and, of course, the intelligent, ever-curious Chloe.
Hi, everybody.
And I'm going to try once again to say your last name, Sempre.
Sempre.
Sempre. It's so simple, so much simpler than the way I do it.
It's way more American than you want to make it.
Now, but here's the thing, right? It is, yeah, Sempre. And so, but here's the thing. The reason I'm bad with names is not because I'm forgetful or don't care. It's because that's not how I see people. I see people as spirits and souls and minds, and so I don't really identify them too much by names. That's not what I'm trying to retain. So the weird thing is, like, I can have a client that I've known for a long time. I may forget their name, even though I've known them a long time, but yet I will remember exactly what their issues are, what I'm working with them with in detail, their kids, their family, all events of their life. I'll remember that in detail, but their name will escape me.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how that happens.
Well, what would you rather have if you're at a restaurant? Would you rather have the way to remember your name or what you ordered?
For sure, what I ordered.
Right? I don't give a shit if you know my name, man. Get my order right? So I gotta have my priorities. And as I find as I get older, I don't think that as you get older, you lose your memory. I think my memory, like a computer, is full. And so it makes room for more by getting rid of shit. It's completely packed stuff with stuff for many years of living, and especially with my life and my experiences. And so therefore, when new stuff comes in, sometimes says, you know what, I got to make some room, so I'm just going to randomly pick something, it's going to go. So the kind of things that I don't remember are very random.
You know what I think is kind of interesting is that whenever you get kids together, they will, just if they see another kid, then they think, oh, there's a friend, and they start playing, and they'll play for an hour. And they have no idea what each other's names are.
Yeah.
And then you have the parents. The parents are coming and saying, "Oh, what's their name? You didn't ask. You should tell them your name." And I think it's really kind of refreshing that it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the thing is, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. As a mystic, numerologist, spiritualist, I focus a lot. When I do hear people's names, I automatically, my mind starts to calculate the numerology, astrology, and all that kind of stuff. So I love all that, and that's very important. But again, more in the clinical area, in the personal and platonic area and friendly area, I don't really focus on that. I'm far more dedicated to listening to and attentive to what you're saying rather than what your name is. Who you are is not your name. It is, your experience. And again, to quote one of my own books, From Within the Portal, you are the sum total of your prior experiences and thoughts from everything from the past to this exact moment. That's who you are. What you are and who you are is the collection of past events and experiences and thoughts and emotions you've had up to this very moment, the ever-present. Right? So, this is technically a continuation and possibly the final one of our New Year's Resolution Revolution episodes. And so we have someone to talk to today. Chloe, would you like to tell us who we're going to have with us today to talk to?
Sure. We're going to speak with Dana. He's in his 50s. He lives in Florida, and he is happily married with no children. But interestingly enough, you actually know Dana. He's a friend. He was a best friend of yours in high school, someone you spend a lot of time with and created a lot of memories and fun stories with. You guys did have a falling out, but then about a year ago, you reconnected, and he joined one of our groups on the Underground Stream. That was our workshop series. And since then, you guys have reconnected, and so it's great to have him back in your life, I'm sure, and to see where you've come from and where you are today.
Yeah, we stay in touch a little bit here and there. And again, so he's one of the first people that responded to the social media and email blasts of inviting people onto this podcast about New Year's resolutions. He's one of the first person that opened the email, read it, and so he and I connected with text. And sure enough, he said, "Yeah, that sounds really exciting and fun, so let's do it. And so, yeah, it's funny how you say, like, we were best friends in high school. Understand that my high school is not like other people's high school. My high school experience is nothing like that. The group that I fell into with in the beginning, that Dana was a part of the little clique that we had, were basically like the outsiders. There's the whole cliques in school, the athletes, the jocks, the mods, all these people, the socias we used to call them, the preppies and all that. And then there was our little group, which is maybe 9 to 10 people, right? And we were like the outcasts. We were like, that was our own little group. And so we weren't really, again, we were kind of like the outcast. And Dana and I were kind of the outcast from the outcast, from our outcast group. We had our own little thing going on. So we were all very connected and very close. And we enjoyed bonding with each other because we were like not socially like really included with the big curriculum of the high school culture, which we didn't want to be. We didn't want nothing to do with that. And so we kind of adhered to each other very strongly. But as that group slowly disintegrated over through high school, and at the end of high school, Dana and I stayed very close together, and we, of course, took it to a whole new level. As we all began with kind of pot and alcohol back then, Dana and I went a little crazy, and we became very serious hardcore drug addicts and grifters and all kinds of some very dark and heavy shit. So he is a prominent part of a stone's from my first memoir of a dope fiend. And so the thing is, if you read that book and hear the audio book, he's called Dane, not Dana. And this is because I did not have permission to use everyone's name, and I was basically telling these very intense stories that were very revealing, and so I wanted to protect their identity and privacy, and so I wasn't including their actual names. I was modifying them. And so Dana and I had a kind of a falling out before this. So let me bring him on, and then I'll go ahead and talk about him instead of like he's not in the room. I'll talk about him while he's here.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Let's bring him on. Dana.
Hi,
Hi.
Dana.
Who are you?
All right, you can hear us.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. We can hear you well too. So listen, I'm right in the middle of kind of introducing a little bit about you and my history and our history together. So let me finish that up, and then we'll kind of jump in. So I just wanted to bring you on. So I wasn't talking to you behind your back like you're out of the room. So now you're in the room and you can hear, because I don't think you can hear while you're waiting, right?
I can't hear anything.
Right. All right. So now I kind of forgot where I was. What was I saying? So
You're falling out.
yeah, and so again, Dana and I, as the high school group kind of disintegrated, which is natural, Dana and I stayed very, very close together, and we kind of went into a different, darker direction than many of the people that we originally met through. Remember, Dana, the Barb crowd. Barb was like the matriarch of the little group we were within. And again, we were kind of like the outsiders of the high school cliques,
Yeah.
right? And then Dana and I were kind of the outsiders of our outsider clique. We weren't outsiders in the sense we were rejected or shunned at all. It was more like we had our own little thing going on all the time. Dana and I got very much into the occult and heavy metal music and things. And so the difference is, as the polymath that I am, I took it very, very seriously. I was studying and practicing witchcraft and spells and incantations. And I'm not saying this is some kind of high school, yay, the devil, Black Sabbath, and blah, blah, blah. That was all there too. But genuinely, I think both of us felt kind of resentful for the popular societies that were out there, and not resentful like we wanted to be them, resentful as in because we thought they were rather judgmental, hypocritical pricks. And so like many more gothy type high schoolers, we kind of felt like, you know what, my fantasy as a teenager is, I hope all of them, I'd like to have revenge on all of them. They all suck, and I want to learn magic and ceremonies and things like that, so I could cast my enemies to hell. That kind of thing, you know? And so Dana and I got into the occult, but I think I was even making him nervous. You can speak for yourself, but I think I was even making him a little nervous because I was literally understanding like the psychedelics, the potions and all this, and I really, really honored it. And I was very much into and studying rigorously the persecutions of witchcraft in the 1600s. And so Dana and I spent a lot of time in the 314 section of the library. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah, the 314 section of the I remember this to this day. The call numbers. The 314 section of the library is the section for the occult. So all the ghost stories and all that is there, but specifically, again, the witch trials and all that stuff that I was studying and reading. And so we were kind of really getting what began as a kind of a hobby interest for me, and I think for both of us, became something of a passion as we saw the injustices of people being persecuted for occult beliefs and saw the magic and beauty in occult beliefs and practices and being able to appreciate the art and the power that was there. But yeah, ultimately, what I want to do is be able to cast spells and create potions that made women want to fuck me and my enemies bow down before me. That's ultimately, I was a teenager. What do you want from me, you know? So that's kind of how it began. And again, as that kind of group fell apart a little bit, Dana and I continued on. And as another faction of the group, another group that was kind of parallel with us, the Gary crowd, that group became far more notorious as we all began to mature. Again, many people kind of got their shit together and went on, did the high school thing and blah, blah, blah. And a handful of us went a lot darker and got very deep into drugs, and it wasn't just smoking and drinking anymore. And for Dana and I, it was some very intense IV methamphetamine and anything else we could get our hands on. So the fun part is that the first time Dana and I took LSD is a chapter in the book called Peace, Pot, and Purple Microdot. Which we both, which was kind of a slogan back with the psychedelic crowd. Back. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, peace, pot. I had it on my peachy folders, written on low LSD symbols and all that. And so Dana and I wanted to try LSD for the first time together. And so the Black Sabbath concert was coming. And so what's told in Stone's Throw is our first acid trip while waiting in line to get tickets for the Black Sabbath concert.
Do you remember waiting to get our acid that day? We were standing out in front of that liquor store in the corner of Woodley and
Highland
yeah, and
Liquor.
you saw that long-haired dude running across the street naked.
I don't remember this at all. What was this?
The long-haired hippie guy running right across the street completely naked, and me and you looked at each other and started laughing.
And we were trying to score
Yeah, we were
acid
trying to
then?
score acid that day. That's the day, I think, of the Black Sabbath concert.
See, you would absolutely think I would remember that. And as you mention it, it kind of comes back to me a little bit. But again, there's just so many memories that my brain just kind of shoves something out to make more room for more. And so, no, I'm glad you brought that up because, no, and again, you would think I would definitely remember. Do you remember who, did we know
Yeah,
him?
he was like the local dust head that was around the neighborhood.
Yeah, wasn't his name George?
I'm not sure.
George used to hang out with. I think he was one of the Mario
Yeah.
crowd, and Mario's in the book, of course, too. Mario passed away a little while ago. I'm sure you
Yeah,
probably heard
yeah.
about that.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Go ahead.
anyway, so I'll tell you one thing I remember. So we have this really epic, kind of hilarious fucking anecdote of us on LSD wandering around Panorama City overnight because we're waiting in line overnight to get back Black Sabbath tickets, right? Back then you could line up all over kind of like you do with Black Friday now, right? And so we're tripping on acid, just he and I, and I'll tell you what. Let me see if you remember this part. I'm just going to mention it. I'm not going to tell the story. I want the story. I got to read the book. And so we went to the arcade and we were playing Centipede on acid, which was fucking. We realized like whoever made this goddamn video game was clearly on acid and was in love because it is perfect for LSD. Okay, and Centipede is just gorgeous. And meanwhile, there's this dog barking in the background. All the fucking row. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
Dana? Okay, and so and finally, Dane looks at me. He goes, that dog is making me bust a fucking brain. I gotta get the fuck out of here. We turn around and there's this little tiny dog that's 6 feet in the air, like it's on stilts or these long 6 foot tall legs. Okay. What it was, the dog was sitting on a big giant stool behind the counter, and the counter was kind of lifted up on like a little platform. So, but what we saw was this little tiny fucking dog, 6 feet in the air, like he had these big giant long legs. And Dana fucking started busting up, lost his shit. So I gotta fucking get out of here. Just left the arcade. And so,
Yeah, then we walked into the laundromat. Remember the
Yeah.
laundromat?
Okay. See that I don't recall. I don't recall the laundromat.
Yeah.
It was an epic journey. It was an all night. So, and what particularly what stood
So
out
we
in the
were in the
laundromat?
laundromat. We were
Did
tripping
we?
in the laundromat, and then you were on one side, and I was on
I
the other. And I walked up to you, and I said, "Hey, man, it's raining over there."
Oh, I thought it was the Jack in the Box after the concert. I was just going to tell
Okay,
that.
yeah,
Yes.
maybe it was
So I
that.
thought it was the I thought it was the Jack in the Box. So we went and took acid again at the Black Cat Sabbath concert, which happened about a month or two later. And so after the concert, and our friend Dennis, he's not doing acid. He's kind of sober, and he was with his like cousin or brother, and so who drove us there. And so we went to Dana and I are tripping fucking balls. The concert's over. We are like flying, right? We are not. Dennis and the other guy are kind of like mellowing out. It's like been a long night, long concert, time to go home.
We
And
were
get some
just
sleep
starting
kind
to
of thing,
peak.
right? Dana and I are tripping fucking balls. We go to a Jack in the Box because it's been the concert and they want to get some burgers and have some, which is totally normal. And Dana are like, eat? What the fuck? Like I can't even comprehend that. And so we're trying to be normal. We're trying to do what normal people do. So we go to the Jack in the Box and I'm standing in line and Dana's off in a corner sitting at a table somewhere just trying to keep his shit together while I'm standing in line trying to get my shit together and try to act normal. And Dana comes up to me as I'm standing waiting to place my order and says, "Hey man, it's raining over there." He thinks he's whispering and he's basically shouting it at me. "Hey man, it's raining over there." And of course everyone, the Jack in the Box kind of crowded. It was a Friday night at fucking 11 o'clock at night or something. And it's in LA. And I'm like, and so again, one thing after another. So there's kind of the funnier anecdotes that were taking place, and we had a lot of those kind of things. Now, let me evoke one more memory from you. Do you remember Binky?
Yeah, I do.
I know you do. Okay, so there is a chapter later on in the book called Binky. Now, at this point, we are hardcore, very serious dope fiends doing a lot of dope, and we'd been up for like 3 or 4 days, and we ran out. And we were going to do anything to get more dope. So 2 white boys, I'm living in Newport Beach at the time, because if I didn't live apart and very far away from my dope fiend friends, I'd be on dope all the time. So I deliberately moved there to get away from them, not to not be friends with them, but because if I had access to dope all the time, I know I would never stop. So I moved somewhere where I couldn't get access to
It
it
was
all the
there
time.
too.
Well, it's everywhere, but again, I didn't have personal contacts. But that night, after being up for 3-4 days in my apartment in Newport Beach, we didn't have any, and we couldn't get any. I didn't know anybody there, so it was working. Like I couldn't score, so technically we should quit. So what did we do? It's 2 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. All right, we've been up for 4 days. We're whacked out. We're pretty delirious. And at 2 o'clock in the morning, we decide to drive to East LA. 2 white boys in a yellow Camaro. That's what I drove at the time. In a yellow Camaro to drive to East LA at 2 in the morning on a Saturday to score dope.
Mm-hmm.
In the barrio. When I say East LA, I don't know if anybody understands this. When we talk about LA, East LA, it's what you've heard about. It's the barrio. Okay? We are 2 white boys going to East LA at 2 or 3 in the morning to try to score dope. We're both gallows humor. We're both laughing all the way, thinking like we're probably never going to survive this. And so, sure enough, we drove all. So it's about an hour drive. We drive all the way up there. We actually did score some dope, which I have no memory of. I don't remember where or how we got it, but we got some dope. And by some guys on the street, went racing back to my apartment in Newport Beach, and we're like, okay, fine, let's get fucking high, right? And he brings out the syringe, and the problem is this. The syringe was so overused by now, we'd been using it for so long that it was fucking clogged. You couldn't get anything through it. And so Dana, being the MacGyver of dope fiends at the time, he has this brilliant idea. He breaks this thing in half. And so all that's left is this needle and a little tiny plastic chamber that's maybe a ½ inch tall and a plunger. I'm not going to go deep. So what I have in the book is a very clear description that's hilarious and actually photographs of what the needle looked like. Obviously not the real one because it was a long time ago, but photographs of what it looked like before and after the Binky thing. So he called it Binky. he made Binky. He took this full syringe and turned this little tiny thing so the plunger would actually go. So yeah, it wasn't the needle that was clogged; it was the plunger. It was the chamber of the syringe that was clogged with dope and stuff from days of using it. So the plunger wouldn't slide down through the chamber. So the thing is, so he puts this thing together, and he has to hit me because I'm one of the few dope fiends that did not hit myself. And that's an absolute no-no. In the drug culture, if you can't hit yourself, then you don't get to do dope. If you're not willing to do that and take that chance, and no one should hit you because if something happens to you, that's on their conscience. So the rule of thumb is that anyone in the dope culture that could not stick a needle in their own arm, then they don't get to get high. But everyone did it for me because I don't know, kind of special. They kind of like me, and so they bent the rules for me. So Dana is giving me the hit through Binky, the little tiny baby syringe. And I get this monster fucking hit that blows my fucking mind. I'm like, oh my God, Dana, hurry up, get your fucking... And Binky fucking clogs and he could not get his hit. I'm fucking soaring and right and high as shit on this stuff, and he can't get his hit. He's ready to pass out and go to sleep, and I'm like, oh my God. So that's kind of the Binky chapter of the book. Chloe, any questions, any comments? Are you shocked? Are you horrified? Are you disgusted? How's this going to appeal to people? Should I be talking about this?
I don't care what you do.
I'm not shocked or horrified because I've read part of the book and already have some things, some context. But I just want to know, Dana, what did you do? Did you go to bed?
I honestly don't remember what I did. I mean, it's been so long ago.
And I don't either, but I'll tell you that he was mad as fuck. I mean, so was I. I'm in fucking paradise, and I want my best.
It's literally no fun watching your friend being sprung and you're not, and you're ready to fall asleep. Yeah, you know, it's like that.
And by the way, Spun, which there's a movie now called Spun that was made, which is one of the few that actually captures the true essence of IV methamphetamine abuse. It truly captures the tweet culture, and so. Not like the other ones that think they do. This one's like legit. And Spun was our term. We're the ones that coined it and came up with the entire fucking thing. It was Rick, I think, that came up with it. So now Spun is a very common colloquialism within the meth culture. You get spun. You don't get high. You don't get loaded. You get spun. And there's a reason for that. Because when you IV meth, you get fucking spun. It's like it's spun.
Yeah.
And so our group is the people that actually coined that phrase. We don't get any credit for it. We're actually the ones that started it.
Yeah.
Pretty intense times. And here's why I think it's very relevant and why I think it's okay to talk about also. Well, it's okay because why not? Why the fuck not? It's okay and it's legit and it's real. But also because I think that Dana and I both represent the other side of these things. What we went through, what we did was crazy and insane, but those are some of the good and funny times in retrospect. But we also went through some very dark, horrifying experiences because we were hooked on dope and wanted to get more and all kinds of shit that we did. And Dana and I weren't really partners in crime so much. My criminal activity was more with Rick, who I kind of nicknamed Wreck, because he would wreck cars all the time. And so, but Dana and I were really a little bit more safer to be around. We would grift here and there, but it wasn't anything too wild. Dana was kind of a good guy in that area. And I was willing to grift and do crime. So, but he and I, so it was kind of out of control. And again, I think the relevance, even to the New Year's Eve resolution kind of thing, is that we absolutely changed our lives. So Dana, it has become a very spiritual, deeply religious person, and so have I. And I don't know what you do for a living. I don't know how you live your life. We don't stay in touch that much. But he is always a delight to talk to. He's intelligent. Always was very intelligent. Always very sharp and very creative. He would be high on dope and create these I don't know what to call them. These chaotic cacophonies of artistic whatever. I still have one. Dana, I still have one. He would stay for hours and just draw this crazy. And so he was like my Ralph Steadman, the illustrator from Hunter Thompson. And I wanted Dana to do the illustrations for Stone's Throw. I thought, well, I wanted that to go with the book. But again, he and I had a falling out. Now, This is partly because when I got clean and off of dope, this was slightly before, and maybe before many of the other people, and even Dana. And so when I got clean and got off dope, what happens is this. I separated from my entire clan of people.
Let's pause for about 40 seconds so I can share something very cool with you.
Winner of 4 book awards, including the Benjamin Franklin Silver from IBPA, A Stone's Throw, Memoir of a Dope Fiend, is available worldwide in print, ebook, and audiobook everywhere books are sold. A hedonistic descent from innocence to destruction into a dark and secret society of IV, methamphetamine, psychedelics, and organized drug crime and sex in 80s Los Angeles. A Stone's Throw, Memoir of a Dope Fiend, revolutionizes the coming-of-age genre with the lost and shocking chapter, Torsional Waves, revealing errato-comatose lucidity and the mysterious Crystal X. Everything is revealed and you vicariously experience it at booksellers everywhere and scottsbacky.com. It wasn't because I did not love and like them. I loved them very much. They were my family. That's all I knew was this twisted group of fucking convicts and criminals. They're all that I knew. But to protect what I was trying to do was to get off of dope and straight out of my fucking life. I could not associate with them one tiny bit. I could not talk to them, see them, think about them, nothing, because I knew that if I did, I'll end up back on dope, which I was terrified of. And so what happens when you do this, and when you start to get clean, you make the separation. What happens is your old group, your old addict friends, think that you're judging them. So the gossip mill was kind of like, oh, Scott, now that he's getting off dope, he thinks he's better than everybody. And that's not what I thought at all. But that's the perception. And Dana later on went through this similar kind of thing. As you separate from the people that you used to get loaded with and they're still on dope, again, the gossip and the judgment is they're judging me because now suddenly I'm a snob and don't want to talk to them. And I'm like, no, it's not that at all. I can't even say because I can't talk to them. Because if I do it, I might get loaded, which I cannot risk.
You would have gotten loaded.
So part of the falling out, yeah. So part of the falling out that we first experienced was just that a lot of people perceive me as being some judgmental snob, which maybe I was, but again, I wasn't judging them. I simply was trying to separate from the entire culture so I could protect my sobriety and be the father that I had just become.
I remember one time, there was a time that you were not getting loaded, and you called to see what I was doing. I told you I was at the bar. Come on down, have a few beers. And you were adamant, I cannot get loaded. I cannot get loaded. We can't do anything. I'm like, cool, no problem. Come on down. So we get a few beers in us.
Yeah, no problem. I'm gonna get loaded. But you keep stay clean. Yeah, come on down.
Get a few beers in us, a few pictures. And we both started thinking at the same time, we need to get high.
I do remember that. We were at the bar on
Yeah, Mary Lou's.
Mugsy's, I think it was.
No, we were at Mary Lou's, sitting in Mary Lou's.
That wasn't, yeah, you're right. And you know what? That wasn't just one time. There was several times in the beginning of getting clean that you and I, we would get together and say, okay, but we're not getting loaded. No matter fucking what, we're not getting loaded. We're going to have some drinks, whatever. We're not getting fucking loaded. And of course, every fucking time we don't get loaded, which is why, again, when I truly when I had my rock bottom events and that made me commit to it, that's when I cut everybody off. And again, it was very painful because I heard through the gossip gristle mill that Scott's a snob now. He thinks he's better than all of us. And again, it was very painful for me, especially honestly when Dana thought these things of me. I mean, he's a man that I loved very, very much. We were very, very close. We spent so much time together talking about some very deep, deep things. That was the bond of our relationship. Again, not just the occult and magic and all the spiritual stuff, but also because it was our coming of age and we were kind of growing up together. And so we shared a lot of very deep, again, when you're up for 2-3 days, you talk about a lot of shit. Not chit chat shit. We got deep, very philosophical, very deep. And so surprisingly, when Stone's Throw got released, so it's won 6 awards as first place awards in different book conventions and book shows around the world, and it sold a lot of copies, and it affects a lot of people. I get a lot of very positive things about it. And so the only bad review I had on Amazon was
Hello.
Dana. And I was like, what the fuck? And there's a review from him saying, yeah, by the way, I'm Dane in the book. This is him, and he's saying, by the way, Scott thinks he's so great and blah blah blah. But you know, he's a big pussy. He couldn't even fucking hit himself, right? I remember that being part of the review. And Mike, and I'm trying to comment on his review that's on it, and I can't take the fucking review off. So there's my old best friend who's in the book telling me this book sucks, right? Meanwhile, I'm winning awards and changing people's lives and getting invited on bookstores, on radio shows and all this kind of shit. And so it's very painful because of all the people. I thought the people that were in the book, my friends, would look and be like, wow, that is fucking intense and beautiful. And as he said, oh, Scott's a big mouth. He didn't even hit himself. And I say in the book early on, I never hit myself, just like I did today when I said the thing you could not do in the IV culture is not hit yourself. You had to do it, and I got away with it. So, and the reason I avoided being able to hit myself is because I knew that if I could effectively stick a needle in my arm and get loaded, it'd be all over. I'd never fucking stop. So one of the ways that I protected myself again was I moved to Orange County where everybody was not, to remove access, easy access, and I didn't learn to hit myself because I knew if I did, I'd be fucking dead by now.
Dana, that's hilarious. Although I know it was painful for you, Scott, I kind of think that's hilarious.
It is, and the painful stuff isn't painful at all anymore. I mean, that's again the fact that Dana and I have come full circle in our friendship, in our lives. We're not the same people. I mean, literally, I don't know about you, Dana, but personally, I'm not bothered by my addiction. I'm not haunted. I'm not triggered. I'm not tempted. It's just such a completely remote part of my past. I don't even connect.
I don't
with it.
either.
I remember it. Yeah, I mean, but I'm not cute. I'm not in jeopardy. I'm not worried like, oh, I hope I don't use someday. Like it's just not even, it's not
I
even
don't
on my
have that
radar,
either.
right? Now let me ask you, and this will go into our kind of New Year's resolution kind of topic as well, that from what I know, you had something of a religious experience, a wake up, and kind of found God, and that was part of your rock bottom moment, correct? Right. And you became for lack of a better term, you became something of a born again.
Yeah, well, I was using meth for long after you quit. You know, I was using it.
I know.
Even after my brother died, I started using it. I was using it so I could die because my brother was my best friend. So after he died, it was hopeless for me. So I didn't. I was begging God to either take my life or clean me up. You know, and one night I was getting high in my room, and all of a sudden I felt this pain in my left side of my chest, and I fell on the floor. It hurt so bad, all the way up and down my arm. I'm thinking, all right, time to go, you know. And the devil came into my ear, and he says, "Now you're mine." And he got on top of me,
Wow.
and I couldn't move.
Wow.
I couldn't do anything. I was just stuck. And he was just, and I kept hearing noises of people screaming. I imagine it was the sounds of hell or something. You know,
Yeah.
I kept hearing it, and
Absolutely.
I felt, okay, I can't even fight back. I'm so held down by demons. And then I hear a voice coming out of this beautiful voice came out of nowhere. It says, "Is this what you want? This is not what you want. Call my name, and I'll save you." And I called
Whew.
out, Jesus, Jesus, save me. And bam, the devil, the demons, all that was gone. It's just boom, gone. The screaming and the wailing was gone. And then and the chest pain, everything was just completely gone. Like I was in the presence of God, and it was all gone. And I didn't see anything. I wasn't able to see any of this going on. I just felt it. And so he goes, he said to me, "Child, what do you want from me?" And I told him I wanted my life back. I don't want to be a drug addict no more. And he goes, "Go to sleep, and when you wake, you will be new again." So I fell
Wow.
asleep,
Holy
and
shit.
the next morning I woke up. You know how when you wake up and you don't have dope, you know how that feels? And and I would call Gary Johnson up, hey dude, I got like $3.50. Can you help me out? I would be like rock bottom calling Gary up, hey, I got
Yeah.
37 cents. Can you help me out? And he'd say, come on over.
Yeah, that's right. And Gary would say,
Come
"Okay."
on over. I'll help you out.
It's like, Gary, you're not helping, man. You should say fucking no, God damn it. But yeah, 30. Of course, Gary
Yeah,
would.
but he was so cool about just helping his friends out that are suffering and hurting
So,
withdrawals.
so, in, so, but in this particular event, you
No, I
didn't.
woke up and
So
I
was
felt
it
like
was
a
it all good?
child again. I felt like a brand new. I just felt like a little kid. I didn't have that urge to call anybody. I just jump out of bed. I'm like, oh my, did last night really
You
happen?
so
You
so so
know,
so you basically felt clean and
clean,
pure,
clean and pure,
purified.
like I never even touched drugs in my life.
Now, let me add
Wow.
something to this. Let me add something to this. Knowing
That's
Dana
wild.
as I do, Jesus is the last person you would ever assume that Dana would ever reach out to. Okay, he was again. When as we got into the occult and black magic kind of stuff, Dana was really far more like the Satan kind of guy. Okay, I was there too, but for him it was more the primary part of that was the devil and Satan kind of thing. So of all things, we're talking about a 180-degree complete fucking shift in his mentality and conscience in that moment. And what you're experiencing, what you're describing, is an absolute God realization moment. What you're experiencing is something that's undeniable.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that same day, I got up and I got in that computer. I started because I remember every bit of what happened. So I started typing it out, and then Dennis calls, and Dennis never offers up any dope to me. He never is always asking me for it, but he never offered it up. So
Let me jump in. Dennis was one of our. He and Dana grew up together on the same block, and so as Dana and I became good best friends, Dennis was also. There was like the three of us.
yeah,
Go ahead.
and so this week he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, nothing." And I was getting ready to tell him what happened, and he goes, "Hey, I got some for you." And I could totally hear the devil in his voice. The devil figures he can get me through my friend. And I told him, no way, man. I'm never touching that stuff again. He's all, why? I said, I had an experience with Jesus last night. I'm never touching that crap again. You know?
Dennis must have started cracking up, fucking laughing to hear
He's
you
all,
say
no, you
that.
didn't. I'm like, yeah, I quit, man. I'm done. I am done, dude. This is so much in my past right now. And
And, Dennis has got to be going like, "Yeah, right, dude. Sure, I'll see you in about five
yeah,
minutes."
I never called him back. I never, and he hung out. We hung out and everything. We'd hang out. I'd still hang out with my dope friends and everything, but I just wouldn't accept the dope when it was handed to me. And people started thinking I turned into a cop, and I'm like, no, man. And my closest dope friends, they believed me, that I had an experience with God and I'm not going back. And, a lot of people didn't want me around, because I didn't do it. But a lot of my close dope friends really, really accepted me because they seen the change in me, the lighter look on my face, and I was happy. I wasn't so down, depressed and all the time because dope makes you depressed. And I just changed. I went on a friend of
Yeah, and I can tell you that contrary
That's
to what many people might think about the dope culture, generally the group, the people do not care if you don't use. You want to hang out and all that. We're not like, oh, you got to use. You're going to be with us. We don't get. As a matter of fact, if you don't use, more dope for me.
yeah,
So they don't judge you on that. They're totally accepting all that. They don't want you to judge
yeah,
them.
and
Chloe, you're going
that's
to say something.
amazing. That's an
and
amazing
my friend
story.
Tim, he was dying. He's the one who let me hang out the most because he liked to hear me talk about God. He liked to hear it. Even though he was doing dope all the time, but he had a pacemaker in his chest, and he doctor told him you gotta stay off the drugs, and he couldn't, so he ended up in the hospital, and he was gonna die there. So we were all visiting him, and he told everybody to leave the room, and asked me to stay. He goes, I want to go to heaven. So I prayed with him and led him to Jesus. and that's where I believe he is now. I believe he died and he didn't because he wanted to change, but he couldn't because he was too addicted. And then when he was on his deathbed, he received Jesus.
Now,
Man,
when you say Tim, there was a guy named Timmy. Are you talking about
No,
Timmy? Did I know
Tim
him as
Palmer,
Timmy? Different guy?
different guy, yeah.
Okay, no, I don't think I knew him then. I was just
Tiny
curious.
Tim.
Okay, so no, I guess I probably I don't know if I knew him. So anyway, again we have these cathartic, cataclysmic stories of people, again rock bottom moments. Again, as I became a counselor and worked with hundreds and thousands of addicts throughout my career, and it was very intense. I mean, I was very personally involved with all of them. And so my role as a counselor was exactly that, to bring them to the rock bottom moment in a safe way. Because as you, Dana, know, many people don't. Everyone that's on drugs and wants to change is searching for the rock bottom moment because they've heard that that's the moment that you change. But the problem is this. It is the holy grail. It is the coveted holy grail of the addiction recovery to attain the rock bottom moment. But many people don't survive the rock
Yeah,
bottom moments. As you just said about Tim. Most people, we only hear about the ones that did, but I got dozens of stories of people that had their rock bottom moment and did not see the next fucking day, as you almost
right.
didn't. The fact that you survived, I mean, you were literally, as so many people were, you know what? Instead of, as you started having basically a cardiac arrest after that hit, you weren't thinking like, oh my God, oh no. You were like, good, this is it. And that's kind of how most people are, and that's how I was too. I was kind of like, good. I not only did not want to live, I wanted to have never have existed at all.
Yeah.
And I meant that from the core of my soul. I was angry at God for even inventing me. I wanted to not only die, I wanted to have never have ever existed at all. And I could not. That sounds like a metaphor and analogy. It is the most literal, heartfelt, true sentiment that I was aching and dying for. I wanted to have never have existed at all.
Yeah. Well, God has a
But
path for
but again,
you as He does for me, and He does for your friend that's sitting there with you. He has all of our paths laid out
that's
yeah,
for
I
us.
right.
mean, yeah, we all have our own destinies, and they're all carved out. And here's the thing: as a spiritual mentor and teacher with people, as I remind them, as I do a lot of destiny readings for people, is that your destiny is not set in stone. It is predetermined. It's all set up and
Yes.
arranged for you. But you can also walk away from not
Right.
fulfill it. You
True.
have free will, and so even though God gives you a destiny, you still have to take responsibility for it and actually do it. God helps those who help
Right.
themselves. You know? And so, again, the irony is that part of what caused the division, if I may be so candid with you, Dana, is that in many ways, Dana was kind of classical born again. Again, I don't mean to be rough with you, but in many ways, you're like the classic born again. A lot of people are very annoyed with this kind of preachy attitude that you seem to have for a while. And I don't get that from you at all anymore. But for several years, when I did interact with you, that's what I got from you, is the kind of born again preachy attitude. And so, but the thing is, when that clicks with you and it happens to you, you absolutely feel like you do. You know a truth that other people do not
Because
know.
it's new. It's
And
new to
again,
me.
it's new, and it's absolutely real and genuine. So you obviously you want to share with the world. That's any great joy or bliss you want to share with the world. And so yeah,
Excuse me.
and we've kind of come full circle again to we want to lead people to these epiphanies and realizations, but we can't drag them
Right.
there.
Yeah.
And and again, part of the falling out was just that. I also thought for a while that you were kind of judgmental in your Christianity, and I get that a lot from many Christians that I meet throughout my career as a spiritual, and I embrace all religions and paths that are genuine, and so. But yeah, I also got the feeling that many times that you were kind of judging me for it. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to judge them for judging me, so I'm just not going to hang out with
Yeah.
them. I'm not
You
going to spend
know,
time with them. And so, and
when you first become a Christian,
yeah,
you
go
need to
ahead.
grow into your faith. Okay. And being a new Christian,
Well said.
there's a being the preachy, the Bible thumper, the this do this or I'm not that anymore, and I actually I don't like to hang out with people like that, because you can
I know,
Bible
and
thump
that and that.
somebody right out of it, instead of Bible thumping right,
Yeah.
Oh
you
yeah,
can
yeah,
chase
it
them
scares them
away.
off. It, it repels them from religion and Christianity rather than draws them in. But again, so I'm glad that, I think that's part of the big shift that has kind of allowed us to kind of rebond again, is that I sensed last couple times that we spoke over the last couple of years, Dana's changed. He's not Bible thumping and preaching and judging anymore. He simply is, he is himself a spiritual person, and therefore you can participate or not. It's up to you. So I didn't feel any of that judgmental kind of stuff at all. And here we are talking about it. And so I agree. I think you said it very eloquently just there. You got to grow into your faith. Yeah, most people, when it's brand new and it starts all of a sudden, when you have that kind of vision like you had, that religious experience moment that you had, it does. It makes people, and again, it's the same thing with people getting sober. So many people that get sober, they start judging everybody. It's like, you were a fucking dope fiend yesterday, motherfucker. Don't start judging people for being dope fiends. Help them, but don't judge them. Don't look down on them. And so, yeah, people that find religion, find sobriety, so often the first thing they do before they grow into it is just that. They judge everybody. Well, I'm better than you now. And again, I got this. I heard, again, kind of through the grapevine, that was kind of the perception of me that Scott's stuck up and he doesn't want anything to do with any of us anymore. And again, it was very painful for me, Dana. I mean, I loved all you guys too. And I went from having a whole community of friends, dope fiend friends, sure, but they were my family. And I went from that to having literally no one in my life. My sobriety days was me sitting in a fucking apartment day after day, going to work and being alone all the time. I didn't have anyone to even talk to because I didn't know anybody who wasn't on dope. So if I wasn't going to talk to people that I had a dope history with, who was I going to talk to? I didn't have anybody. That's all I knew. Literally, only people I knew were people that did dope. And I didn't know that until I got clean. Said I can't talk to people on dope. And so I'm like, I got literally no one to talk to. I had my dad, who had a 10 years relationship with, and lived a little bit far away. Other than that, I was day in, day out, completely isolated and alone because I couldn't. And you're one of them. I mean, I'm kind of like, I miss Dana. I want to fucking hang out with him, but I can't do it because he's still using. I can't. And again, everybody thinking I'm judging. Oh, you're still using, so I can't hang out. No, it's you're still using. I can't hang out with you because otherwise I'm going to get loaded too. Because I'm not that fucking strong yet. I have not grown into. I haven't done shit. I'm brand new. I'm in my abstinence phase. So it's very tenuous.
Yeah, I can respect it now though, because I don't blame you for not wanting to hang out. You were trying to better yourself, and as addicts at that time, it was like, we were immature in supporting you, and because at that time, life was just a big party. It was just and if you want to get clean, then you got a problem with that. But
Yeah.
and at the age that you decided to get clean was a good age, because a lot of people that we know are still out there doing it. And
Yep. Yep.
a lot of them died that we knew in the past. A lot
Many.
of them died.
Oh yeah. In jail, in
Yeah.
prison, and
Me and
dead.
you and a few
Absolutely.
others are the last few of those days. And
That's
you
right.
were mature at that time to quit, and you wanted to
Well,
do right with
yeah.
your life and do right to help others, which I can respect that too.
Honestly, Dana, you're giving me more credit than I deserve. No, I didn't. Was not trying to be something good. I simply didn't want it. Here's my rock bottom. I'm not going to go into length about this. Not here right now. Again, read the book. Hear the book. It's in audio, and it's absolutely from my fucking heart and soul. And again, what I realized is that my epiphany rock bottom moment was I have never been or done or even said anything of value ever in my entire life. I am a piece of shit. I am total fucking garbage. There's not one redeemable thing about me whatsoever. So I want to not exist. And so I wasn't trying to do something good with my life when I had my epiphany wake up moment. I just didn't want to suffer anymore. And the only way that I could not suffer was to either die or not be on dope. So yeah, everyone says like, oh, once you get clean, it's the first day of the rest of your life, things get better. And as you know, no, it doesn't. When you first start getting clean, it is shit. Your life is shit. You're in shit. Life sucks. You don't have anything. Everything is fucking destroyed. And you're like, this is sobriety. Now I can see clearly how fucked up my life is. When I was loaded, I couldn't even see it. Now I can even see it. It's even worse. And yeah, it's painful. And it's a long, hard process. And again, having what I felt was lost. Now, don't get me wrong. Most of the friends that I lost, I could give a shit. I mean, once the smoke started to clear and I got my senses back, I was kind of like, well, good. I mean, it turns out most of those people were shit anyway. But yeah, I'd say we had a pretty good group, a pretty big group. And let's face it. What people don't know, we didn't know at the time, is our group, the Gary clan, that whole group, were some of the most notorious dope fiend, dope dealers, counterfeiters, and criminals in the entire San Fernando Valley of Los Angeles. The detectives at Van Nuys Division, Devonshire Division, and even downtown LA in Spring and Hill Street, they knew us by first name. We knew when detectives were going on vacation because we kept tabs on them, so we knew when to run amok. Kind of had to.
Let's pause for about 40 seconds so I can share something very cool with you.
Winner of 4 book awards, including the Benjamin Franklin Silver from IBPA, A Stone's Throw, Memoir of a Dope Fiend, is available worldwide in print, ebook, and audiobook everywhere books are sold. A hedonistic descent from innocence to destruction into a dark and secret society of IV, methamphetamine, psychedelics, and organized drug crime and sex in 80s Los Angeles. A Stone's Throw, Memoir of a Dope Fiend, revolutionizes the coming-of-age genre with the lost and shocking chapter, Torsional Waves, revealing errato-comatose lucidity and the mysterious Crystal X. Everything is revealed and you vicariously experience it at booksellers everywhere and scottsbacky.com.
So, Chloe, you've been really silent. We've been talking a lot. Any questions or comments? Would have you invite you back into this?
I'm just listening, and it's very. No, I'm interested in just hearing your stories. I can relate to losing all of your friends. I've never done anything as intense as you guys, but I did quit drinking right before I turned 30, and I found that in retrospect, leading up to my rock bottom moment, my moment to walk away, and then after the fact, that all the people and all the things that were not supporting that, even where I was living, I moved, I had new friends, I quit a job and was in another community, and even though there were people that were enabling me in that community, those people quickly fell away as well. And I thought that was interesting and beautiful and sad, but also it was a gift because I needed that separation, and to figure out what I wanted to do. And to replace my behaviors with, instead of just hanging out with the same people, doing the same thing, drinking every day, the same amount, which was a lot, and just doing it every single day, to replace those behaviors with just doing something else, with being with other people. And it was hard because you do need to forge new relationships while you're undergoing a massive transformation. But I too was sort of revitalized in my life, and my spirituality was really starting to reignite in me at that time. And that was my replacement, was this personal drive inside of me that I wanted something more than what I was just doing. And I felt that judgment. There were some relationships that I wanted to maintain, and people I still think about to this day, but I see, wow, that relationship wasn't mature. And clearly, since everything fell apart after the fact, that wasn't someone that was really meeting me where I needed, and I probably wasn't meeting them either. So I relate with a lot of that with you guys. But I'm also I'm blown away by the power of the stories of transformation, that we can either go one direction or the other. And Dana, your story is profound. To walk away, to still be able to hang out with people that are doing something that is such a huge temptation. That's profound.
Here's something that I realized that after I realized it was such a simple epiphany that my separation from the old gang, the old culture, and all those kind of things is, it was very simple. And I realized that I'm not hanging out with them because I don't have anything in common with them. It's not about judging. I don't do dope and you do. It's like the same reason I don't go hang out at bowling alleys. I have nothing against bowling. I just don't bowl. I don't own a bowling ball. So why would I go hang out in a bowling alley? It's like me going to a Black Angus steak restaurant. I'm a vegetarian. Why would I go? I don't want to judge you. It's not that I think I'm better than you necessarily, but I don't go there because I don't have anything in common with you. Why would I go there? So why would I hang out with people that are on dope and doing criminal and all that? And so I can't relate. They can't relate to me. I can't relate to them. And so we do need to, our peer group needs to be people that we have something in common with. And what I was becoming was a father, a career man. I was building a business. I was trying to get my life, trying to straighten out my life. And so, and I didn't know anybody who was a parent and was doing all that. So that's again why the isolation. So indeed, as you said, when you separate from these people, its bottom line is you do love them, you still care, but you don't have anything in common with it. What are you going to talk about?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What am I going to talk about with somebody who's obsessed with bowling? Again, I got nothing against bowling. I just don't own a bowling ball.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's great. We don't have much to talk about. Again, I'm not judging you. I don't bowl. I've done it before. It's cool and all, whatever, but it's not something I know much about, you know? And I think this is the commitment that it takes. I think we have to wrap up here. Daniel's got an appointment coming up. So I think this is the commitment that it takes to make these changes. We need to be able to eradicate, surgically remove the things that we were attached to before, the things that are familiar to us, the people. And again, this is the bind that holds us into behaviors and cultures because we don't know anything else. And again, as I heard this bullshit phrase that when you get sober, it's the first, when you realize that you want to get clean, it's the first day of the rest of your life kind of shit. I'm like, well, that's fucking horrifying. That's horrifying because I don't want, my life is shit. I don't want this, I want to be the last and not the first. And, but there was also simultaneously, I'm getting a little emotional, pardon me. Simultaneously, as I was having this very dark realization, so I can be anything I want to be, I don't want to be anything. I don't like anything about me. But then I was like, but that means I'm nothing. As you said, Dana, I'm like an innocent child. I am starting completely from scratch. I'm completely, so I was terrified because I didn't know what to reinvent into, because I didn't know what a good man was. I had no idea. I had no clue what that was. But I could be anything I wanted because I wasn't anything. I was nothing. I was zero. And so as terrifying as that was, it was also liberating because so that means that I can invent to be anything I want because I'm not already something. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what I did. I was like, well, what do I want to be? I don't fucking know what I want to be, but let's find out. So I sampled and experimented and sampled different things to find out. And as the three of us have this consistent theme is that all of us, what we found primarily is spirituality. And for many people, now, whether they say there are no atheists in foxholes, right? Mm-hmm. It isn't just because you're that desperate that you look for anything that can defy your circumstances. It's because when you're in desperate situations, when you're reduced to that rock bottom moment, the fog does kind of clear. And what you had, Dana, clearly is a vision. What you got completely destroyed. Your ego was wiped out in that moment. And because your ego was completely destroyed, you had the capacity to be able to let God in and see it. So God's always there, as you know, omnipresent all the time. Ever present, omnipresent all the time. But our eyes are fucking shut. We don't see, we don't feel because we're fucking ignorant and stupid. In that moment, you were so vulnerable, like a child, so innocent, your ego was completely wiped out and not just gone, absolutely destroyed, violently destroyed. And so that's when God sees up to say, you know what? He can see the light now because his ego's out of the way. Mm-hmm. His attachments, all this shit is out of the way. So now Now he has a glimmer, and now I can make myself known. I can make direct contact. And that's really what it comes down to. As a counselor, as I'm trying to help people navigate, again, I got people coming to me, paying all the money and saying, I want to hit rock bottom. And I'm like, it's not like that. It's not like you just can wish for it. It's not like a genie comes out of a bottle and says, here you go. And so I had to lead them there. And again, it's very precarious because as I'm leading people from where they are into rock bottom, realization, I got to be very careful because, again, many people don't survive it. I can't tell you the stories that I had similar to yours, Dana. One man comes into mind particularly that a heroin addict, I'm getting emotional. I mean, and this man did the exact same kind of thing. He's like, you know what? My life fucking sucks. It's never going to get any goddamn better. I'm a fucking hopeless dope fiend. So therefore, I got a stash of dope. I'm going to go into my room. I'm going to shoot up. And he did a hit. He was like, oh, it didn't kill me. I'm going to do another one. Oh my God, that didn't kill me. I'm going to do another one. Sure enough, he was in the hospital. Next call I got was to go down to the hospital. He survived, but that was his rock bottom moment. And many people don't survive that. He barely did. You barely did. Well, let's wrap this up. Let's not talk about New Year's resolution. Well, real quick though, I asked you to think of a New Year's resolution before you came on. What was it going to be?
Well, God led me in a different path, and so January I start my career as a truck driver. Uh, yeah, I'll be working for Schneider Transport, and
I
then
know
that's
I used to drive truck too. So are you on long distance?
no, I'm gonna stay. Go ahead.
What they call OTR, over the road?
No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna stay local as like regional. I won't be no
When
more
did you
than a
get your
thousand
license?
miles. I got it August 8th.
Motherfucker, man, when I got my I could not get a goddamn local run. I mean, that's the coveted thing. You want a local run. I mean, they're impossible to get for new drivers.
Yeah, I think God's been
What do you what do
behind
you
this the
what do you
whole time.
what do you know somebody? You know somebody?
I know God.
Well, anybody on the earth plane help you get that? Because again, new drivers, I mean, I wanted a local run too. All I got was OTR. I got over the road. I got long haul.
Yeah, I didn't want that. And then I told God I didn't want that. I wanted something close and to make good money. So I'll be making like 900 a week. And then it only goes up from there.
Yeah.
And, and then after that, with my experience with him, after I gained some experience, there's another man that I met, another Christian, says he'll hire me. I get home every day and he'll give me great pay. So he just wants me to get some experience first.
Are you
So,
going to be driving? Are you driving 48 footers?
yeah, I'm
So
driving the whole
trailers?
truck. Yeah, the
Yeah.
18
So yeah,
wheeler.
your Bobcat and your 48-foot trailer.
Yeah, 53
That's what
foot
I drove.
trailer.
Yeah, yeah. Yours is 53.
Yeah.
I drove a 48-foot lowboy. You know what a lowboy is?
Mm,
Lowboys are like the moving ones, and so they have like a below cargo area. So it's kind of
oh,
trickier because they're kind of trickier because there's certain things you got to be very careful because of that low elevation.
yeah.
Anyway, congratulations, and let me tell you, over the road is romantic and adventurous and really fun. It's also fucking grueling, and the rate of divorce with long haul truck drivers is off the charts because
Yeah.
very few families and situations can handle that being gone all. And here's the thing: what I realized, what I heard about, and what I realized was an absolute fact that when I'm on long haul, you get home, like all you can think of the moment you hit the road is I got to get fucking home. I want to get this over with. I want to get back home, right? Then when you get home, you have road fever. Within a handful of hours, you're like, I got to get back on the road. I got to get back on the road. I can't fucking stay. I got to get back on the road.
It's awful.
Gotta home, gotta home. Gotta get back on the road. Gotta get back on the road.
That's right. It's like another addiction. It is an addiction. And because my girlfriend at the time, that was Jennifer, which you remember way back. So when I come home, of course it was like reunion and make love and be together and like, oh my God. But within the next day, she knows I'm leaving another day and a half. So she's already kind of distancing and protecting herself by getting some distance from me because she doesn't want to get too attached. So, and I'm like, wait a minute, I got to leave soon. Be close to me. I mean, I'm going to miss you. She's like, I don't want to get too close because you're going to fucking leave again. It was very painful. So I went a local haul too, and finally I got one. But I was serious. I was doing a lot of dope then. That I got my license. It was driving truck, and when I was in Vegas, just after I left LA. So during that whole separation. This was 1989 or some shit. Yeah, it was a long time ago. And I drove from, I was in Vegas. I'd pick up the bobtail in Vegas. I'd bobtail to Los Angeles, pick up a trailer, drive to Chicago, and I was in the electronics division. So I had like lung machines and hospital equipment in there. And it was less than a load. So it was less than a load, so it was very light load. So I could drive pretty fast. So yeah, and then I would drive back from Chicago. They load me up. I'd drive back from Chicago to LA, and then I'd bobtail back to Vegas. And I'd be off for a day and a half. It was supposed to be off for 3 days, but you only get like day and a half, 2 days, because you're getting back on them one day, and then you're getting out the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're only actually getting one, maybe one and a half, actually clean full days off. It was a bitch.
Yeah.
But
So it sounds like
congratulations
you've
on
got
getting
a
a
good-
local run and starting a new career, man. I mean, there's a lot of good things about it that I enjoyed.
Yeah. And I've been getting a lot of home time, weekends, and then, I don't know what to expect, but I'm very excited to get started in it.
Yeah, you're working for a company that's been around a long time too. I'm familiar with them too, and they do have long haul runs.
Yeah, they do.
I,
And
yeah,
it's not
no,
something
see
I
that.
wanted.
No, you definitely don't. But again, I used to see them on the road all the time.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. Look, it was great talking to you, and I hope you'll come back and have. There's going to be a lot of different topics on this podcast, Dana, and spirituality, of course, is going to be a regular one as well. And I'm always going to be a little bit unusual. I'm not going to take the conventional approaches, but I have a Rabbi Friedman that's nearby me that I really admire and respect a lot. I thought I'd have him on, have a discussion about Judaism. We're going to have you back on, talk about Christianity, and all kinds of different topics.
Sure.
And the fun thing is, when we talk, we can talk about doing dope, and we can talk about changing into religion without being preachy. It can just be kind of fun shit. I think we had a good time today.
Yeah, sure.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up and disconnect. Any last wishes? Any New Year's wishes for anybody?
Well, just want to say thanks for having me on, and nice to meet you, I already know you, but nice to meet your friend.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Dana. It was great to chat with you and hear your stories. Thanks for sharing.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, guys. And Merry Christmas.
Merry
Happy New
Yes,
Year.
you too, man. Happy New Year. All right.
All right.
Go ahead and disconnect whenever you want. All right.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So, all right. Just the two of us now. So that was kind of interesting and fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of expected that conversation to not so much be about New Year's resolution. Again, he and I go way back. The stories that we have, we're just scratching the surface. It was not, again, you have a lot of people with dope stories. Most of the stories that I hear about people back in their drug days, I'm kind of like, they all sound the same to me. But our group, and as you know with me in particular, my life is never the ordinary kind of stuff. Now, I'm not saying that drug addiction is always ordinary, but again, as a dope fiend myself, most of that I hear, and again, as a counselor for so many years, what I'm hearing, I'm like, oh. I mean, I got people pouring their hearts out to me about some cataclysmic events in their life, and I'm kind of like, oh, yeah, I heard this like last Wednesday from a guy, I get a little oversaturated in it.
Yeah,
So,
oversaturated. Yeah, you've got a lot of variety to hear from. Some people probably don't hear about these stories ever, and they seem rather exotic to them.
well, and I
Some
think
people
that
have lived them.
yeah, and that's what Stone's Throw offers is there are, of course, thousands of books released all the time about people's addictions and their memoirs and blah, blah, blah. And again, I'm not trying to, they do their good, but I've read several of them. And generally, I'm kind of like, well, this is fucking boring. It sounds like this is the exact same thing I heard last. Yeah, I got on dope. I did a bunch of drugs, got involved with some bad people and got clean, And so it's not, I don't usually hear things that are that unusual. A Stone's Throw, the reason it was written is as I was writing it, and as you'll find in these anecdotes and stories, yes, there are some general fun and funny stories like I'm sharing with Dana, but also there's some very profound spiritual things that we're talking about too. But as you're aware, my stories have a very different and unique spin to them that are just really wild and really phenomenal, and that are absolutely one of a kind.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny and fun to listen to you and Dana talking about some things that I've read and
Right.
to bring some life and character to it.
Yeah, so you read parts of the book, and so you're familiar with Dana. I always want to call him Dane because that's the name I was using for so long. So you're familiar with Dana, and so did you have any expectations? Was he any thoughts on what after getting to know him a little bit? Was he anything like what you thought he would be?
Well, what's also interesting is that your book is written, or at least as far as I've gotten with Dane's character, is you guys are teenagers, you're kids. So in my mind's eye, I've got
Yeah.
like awkward kids doing adult things, and now you guys are, grown men living lives and having had lots of experiences, and so it's funny to put those two things together and to bridge that gap.
I'll tell you something else unusual about him that I meant to do in the introduction with him, is that when we were in this first group in high school, the first kids that I met when I moved to LA, and so Dana was he's kind of tall, he's kind of lean, he's kind of thin, right? And I found out later, that was what he was like when I met him. He's kind of dark and brooding, okay? Dana's kind of the tall, dark and brooding kind of guy. That's how I just describe how he was then. And so I found out later, after I get involved with the group of people, that Dana, soon before that, he was known as kind of the big fat round kid when they were growing up. And I'm like, Dana, this guy, there's nothing fat or heavy about this guy at all. And so, but he used to be very fat and heavy. And then, I don't know, he kind of hit his puberty kind of thing and just lost all this weight, right? Now he's kind of a big guy. He's kind of going full circle on that. He's kind of a big guy again. But, so Dana was, when I first met him, he had a girlfriend, all right? And so for being some of the losers of the school and the crowd, that was really kind of cool. Not only did he have this girlfriend, but she was the exact opposite of him. Dana was kind of like this more quiet, foreboding, brooding character, and Lydia was this tall, lean, really beautiful, very sexy black girl that was charismatic and charming and talkative and just really energetic. Nothing like Dana. Nothing like. And they were so completely bonded. Like, when you thought of Dana, you thought of Lydia. When you thought of Lydia, you thought of Dana. That's how bonded they were together, you know? And so, yeah, she was an integral part of our group as well. Her best friend was a girl named Amy, and she was the exact opposite. So Lydia was kind of this tall, lithe, sexy black girl, and her best friend Amy was this small, petite, very pale, very blonde girl. Very blonde white girl, right? And so naturally, Dana and Lydia are trying to hook her up with me. That went absolutely nowhere. I will give you one word to describe who and what she actually, which is just tease, just an absolute tease. So I'll leave it at that. Anyway, so that was a good conversation. I think we'll just kind of leave it there. And I definitely hope to have him back on. He's always fun to talk to.
Yeah, that was fun.
Until next time, leave your third eye open. Full episodes, services, knowledge, and all you'll ever need on scottspacky.com and life-mind.com.
Ocean collides with the sun.
Project Addiction is $325 for 6 months of treatment. You do it from home, every day, by yourself, with your family or spouse or other. You don't get exiled into a facility or leave your life. You keep working, living, and evolving as you learn how to solve your addictions, habits, and unwanted behaviors. And it's guaranteed. Guaranteed. That's how much confidence I have in it, and that's how successful it is to the Project Addiction Recovers across the U.S. and abroad. Check out the testimonials. Finally, it's time to no longer be a problem. Finally, it's time to be a part of the solution. Go to life-mind.com for your treatment solution. That's life-mind.com